Hello, dear students, welcome to our program. Today we are going to discuss topic bacterial recombination, in which we will have general, site-specific and replicative, bacterial plasmid, fertility factor and finally col plasmid. The main objectives of today's topic are an introduction about recombination, details about general recombination, general idea about process of site-specific recombination, a thorough idea about replicative recombination, a precise account of F plasmid, and finally a detailed account of col plasmid. To begin with, let's discuss bacterial recombination. The important property of the DNA in cells is its ability to undergo rearrangements that can vary the particular combination of genes present in any individual genome, as well as the timing and the level of expression of these genes. These DNA rearrangements are caused by genetic recombination. The rearrangement of genetic material, especially by crossing over in chromosomes or by the artificial joining of segments of DNA from different organisms, is known as recombination. Two broad classes of genetic recombination are commonly recognized: general recombination and site-specific recombination. First, let's have a look at general recombination. In general recombination, genetic exchange takes place between any pair of homologous DNA sequences, usually located on two copies of the same chromosome. One of the most important examples is the exchange of sections of homologous chromosomes in the course of meiosis. This crossing over occurs between tightly opposed chromosomes early in the development of eggs and the sperm, and it allows different versions of the same gene to be tested in the new combinations with the other genes, increasing the chance that at least some members of a mating population will survive in a changing environment. Although meiosis occurs only in eukaryotes, the advantage of this type of gene mixing is so great that mating and the reassortment of genes by general recombination are also widespread in bacteria. General recombination is guided by base pairing interactions between complementary strands of the two homologous DNA molecules. General recombination involves DNA strand exchange intermediates that require some effort to understand. Although the exact pathway followed is likely to be different in different organisms, detailed genetic analysis of viruses, bacteria and fungi suggests that major outcome of general recombination is always the same, which is two homologous DNA molecules cross over. That is, the double helices break and the two broken ends join to their opposite partners to reform two intact double helices, each composed of parts of the two initial DNA molecules. The site of exchange can occur anywhere in the homologous nucleotide sequences of the two participating DNA molecules. At the site of exchange, a strand of one DNA molecule becomes base paired to a strand of the second DNA molecule to create a staggered joint, usually called a heteroduplex joint between the two double helices. The heteroduplex region can be of thousands of base pairs long. We shall explain later how it forms. No nucleotide sequences are altered at the site of exchange. The cleavage and the rejoining events occur so precisely that not a single nucleotide is lost or gained. Despite this precision, general recombination creates DNA molecules of novel sequence. The heteroduplex joint can contain a small number of mismatched base pairs and, more important, the two DNAs that cross over are usually not exactly the same on either side of the joint. The mechanism of general recombination ensures that two regions of DNA double helix undergo an exchange reaction only if they have extensive sequence homology. The formation of the heteroduplex joint requires that such homology be present because it involves a long region of complementary base pairing between a strand from one of the two original double helices and a complementary strand from the other. But how does this heteroduplex joint arise, and how do the two homologous regions of the DNA at the site of crossing over recognize each other? As we shall see, recognition takes place by means of a direct base pairing interaction. The formation of base pairs between complementary strands from the two DNA molecules then guides the general recombination process, allowing it to occur only between long regions of matching DNA sequence. Now let's discuss site-specific recombination. Site-specific recombination, also known as conservative site-specific recombination, is a type of genetic recombination in which DNA strand exchange takes place between segments possessing at least a certain degree of sequence homology. Site-specific recombinases perform rearrangements of DNA segments by recognizing and binding to short DNA sequences, at which they cleave the DNA backbone, exchange the two DNA helices involved, and rejoin the DNA strands. While in some site-specific recombination systems, just a recombinase enzyme and the recombination site is enough to perform all these reactions, in other systems a number of accessory proteins or accessory sites are also needed. Multiple genome modification strategies, among these recombinase-mediated cassette exchange or MCE, an advanced approach for the targeted introduction of transcription units into predetermined genomic loci, rely on the capacities of site-specific recombinases. DNA homology is not required in the site-specific recombination. Instead, exchange occurs at short specific nucleotide sequences on either one or both of the participating DNA molecules that are recognized by a variety of site-specific recombination enzymes. Site-specific recombination, therefore, alters the relative positions of nucleotide sequences in genomes. In some cases, these chains are scheduled and organized, as when an integrated bacterial virus is induced to leave a chromosome of a bacterium under stress. In others, they are haphazard, as when the DNA sequences of a transposable element is inserted at a randomly selected site in a chromosome. Site-specific genetic recombination, unlike general recombination, is guided by a recombination enzyme that recognizes specific nucleotide sequences present on one or both of the recombining DNA molecules. Base pairing between the recombining DNA molecules need not to be involved, and even when it is, the heteroduplex joint that's formed is only a few base pairs long. By separating and joining double-stranded DNA molecules at specific sites, this type of recombination enables various types of mobile DNA sequences to move about within and between chromosomes. Site-specific recombination was first discovered as the means by which a bacterial virus, Bacteriophage lambda, moves its genome into and out of the E. coli chromosome. In its integrated state, the virus is hidden in the bacterial chromosome and replicated as a part of host's DNA. When the virus enters a cell, a virus-encoded enzyme called lambda integrase is synthesized. This enzyme catalyzes a recombination process that begins when several molecules of the integrase protein bind tightly to a specific DNA sequence on the circular bacteriophage chromosome. The resulting DNA protein complex can now bind to a related but different specific DNA sequence on the bacterial chromosome, bringing the bacterial and the bacteriophage chromosome close together. The integrase then catalyzes the required DNA cutting and resealing reactions using a short region of sequence homology to form a tiny heteroduplex joint at the point of union. The integrase resembles a DNA topoisomerase in that it forms a reversible covalent linkage to DNA wherever it breaks a DNA chain. The same type of site-specific recombination mechanism can also be carried out in the reverse by the lambda bacteriophage, enabling it to exit from its integration site in the E. coli chromosome in order to multiply rapidly within the bacterial cell. This excision reaction is catalyzed by a complex of the integrase enzyme with a second bacteriophage protein, which is produced by the virus only when its host cell is stressed. If the sites recognized by such a recombination enzyme are flipped, the DNA between them will be inverted rather than excised. Many other enzymes that catalyze site-specific recombination resemble lambda integrase in requiring a short region of identical DNA sequence on the two regions of DNA helix to be joined. Because of this requirement, each enzyme in this class is fastidious with respect to the DNA sequences that it recombines, and it can be expected to catalyze one particular DNA joining event that is useful to the virus, plasmid, transposable element, or cell that contains it. These enzymes can be exploited as tools in transgenic animals to study the influence of specific genes on cell behavior. Site-specific recombination enzymes that break and rejoin two DNA double helices at specific sequences on each DNA often do so in a reversible way. As for Lambda bacteriophage, the same enzyme system that joins two DNA molecules can take them apart again, precisely restoring the sequence of the two original DNA molecules. This type of recombination is therefore called conservative site-specific recombination. Dear students, now let's have a look at replicative recombination. Replicative recombination generates a new copy of a segment of DNA. Many transposable elements use a process of replicative recombination to generate a new copy of the transposable element at a new location. Many mobile DNA sequences, including many viruses and transposable elements, encode integrases that insert their DNA into a chromosome by a mechanism that's different from that used by bacteriophage lambda. Like the lambda integrase, each of these enzymes recognize a specific DNA sequence in the particular mobile genetic element whose recombination it catalyzes. Unlike the lambda enzyme, however, these integrases do not require a specific DNA sequence in the target chromosome, and they do not form a heteroduplex joint. Instead, they introduce cuts into both ends of the linear DNA sequence of the mobile genetic element and then catalyze a direct attack by these DNA ends on the target DNA molecule, breaking two closely spaced phosphodiester bonds in the target molecule. Because of the way that these breaks are made, two short single-stranded gaps are left in the recombinant DNA molecule, one at each end of the mobile element. These are filled in by DNA polymerase to complete the recombination process. The mechanism creates a short duplication of the adjacent target DNA sequence. Such flanking duplications are the hallmark of a transpositional site-specific recombination event. Now let's have a look at the bacterial plasmid or fertility factor. The fertility factor, first named F by one of its discoverers, Esther Lederberg, allows genes to be transferred from one bacterium carrying the factor to another bacterium lacking the factor by conjugation. The F factor is carried on the F episome, the first episome to be discovered. Unlike other plasmids, F factor is constitutive for transfer proteins due to the gene TRA-J. The F plasmid belongs to a class of conjugative plasmids that control sexual functions of bacteria with a fertility inhibition or FIN system. The F factor of E. coli K12 was the first plasmid to be discovered and, as both subject and tool, has been studied ever since. The insight and ingenuity of early investigators allowed principal characteristics of FF-mediated DNA transfer and the circular configuration of plasmid and chromosomal DNAs to be determined solely through analysis of genetic crosses involving chromosomal markers. Key deductions were, first, the F is a circular episome able either to replicate autonomously or to integrate in the bacterial chromosome. And second, the efficient transfer of chromosomal markers from high-frequency recombinant donor strains reflects a stable integration of F. The order and the time of entry of markers transferred by high-frequency recombinant donors can then be seen to reflect the position and orientation of a specific site, the F origin of transfer or ORIT. It was perceived that transfer of DNA must always begin at this site and proceed unidirectionally around the circular genome. This appears to be basic percept for conjugation, and ORI-T sites on many other subsequently studied conjugative elements have been found to function similarly in directing the transfer of contiguous DNA. Now, let's discuss structure of this F plasmid. The F plasmid is a circular DNA molecule, 100 kilobase pairs in size. It contains leading region. The F DNA sequence is located between the origin of conjugal transfer or ORI-T and Rep-FIA are presumed to be the first to enter the recipient cell during conjugation and have therefore been designated the leading region. Leading region gene products are thought to assist in establishing fDNA in the recipient. The Rep-FIA region, believed to be primarily responsible for the typical replication properties of F, contains both unidirectional or ORI-S and bidirectional ORI-V replication origins. The last one, transposable elements. The F sequence includes a single copy of TN1000, also known as GD, IS2 and 2 copies of IS3. Finally, let's have a discussion about the col plasmid. Colicins are toxic proteins which are produced by bacteria, for example, Escherichia, Shigella and Salmonella, which kill bacteria other than those that produce them. This property of bacteria is genetic in origin and depends on the elements called colicinogenic factors such as plasmid or popularly known as col plasmids. There are one class of a general type of plasmid called bacteriocinogenic plasmids, which produce bacteriocin in many bacterial species. Bacteriocins, of which colicins are one example, are proteins that can interact with sensitive bacteria and inhibit one or more essential processes such as DNA replication, transcription, translation, or energy metabolism. Col factors resemble FADs since they cause death of bacteria. However, they differ from FADs in the sense that the death of the bacteria is not accompanied with simultaneous release of col factors as in the case of lysis caused due to FADs. Genetic studies suggest that colicin production is not determined by genes located on bacterial chromosomes, but by the genes present on col plasmids, which can be transmitted from one bacterium to another. The best studied col plasmid is COL-E1. It's a mobilizable but non-conjugative plasmid. The transfer of col-E1 requires a plasmid encoded mobility gene. It encodes for an enzyme called nuclease and a specific base sequence called basis of mobility or BOM, which contains the cutting site. In a critical experiment, it was shown that the compatible plasmid F and col-E1 were present in the same cell, and F donates the conjugal functions that col-E1 lacks, thereby enabling col-E1 to be transferred. Well, that's all for today. I hope you have really understood the topic. Thank you.